Well, g'day Spurs fans, Paul the Hotspur hippie here, the only psychedelic soccer show on the internet. And yes, the window is finally open, provided it opened at midnight, which was about 5 minutes ago as I'm recording this. I've had a quick scan of the interwebs and there's no hot breaking news at the moment, apart from a bit of interest hotting up in Romero. Now, I think a few people have been focusing on who we'd like to see leave and who we'd like to see come into the club. But now there's rumours abounding about a couple of players that I don't want to go. I don't want Romero to go. So Real Madrid, the Borg, wants to assimilate him. And I saw a figure of 44 million. That's outrageous. That's daylight robbery, that is. But it's interesting that, I heard a few people maybe last season say if Romero was that good, why aren't the likes of Manchester City or Real Madrid interested in him? Well, there you are. There's your answer. Because Christian Romero, one of our vice captains, does happen to be one of the best defenders in the world. And he's off to Copa America. So we'll see what happens there. Now, I'm not expecting too much activity to happen over the next 2 weeks. Not at the top end. Because I'm pretty well, what do I know? But while there's international tournaments going on, the Euros and the Copa America, if I was like a country manager, I'd be saying, right, you knuckleheads, don't you be talking to your agents for the next 2 weeks, or in England's case, for the next week, because we want to play some games in a tournament. I want you fully focused, so forget about all that. But hey, that's pie in the sky stuff. We'll probably start hearing the flexing of checkbooks coming out soon. Now we've got the Euros starting. I'm excited about that. Copa America, I'm not so excited about that, but I'll watch it anyway because we've got a couple of players over there, which is cool. But I'm always into the Euros. I don't think England are going to win it, unfortunately, because we've got a useless coach. Hopefully, soon to be going to Manchester United, which would be lovely. I know they're sort of pretending to stick with Ten Hag at the moment, but I reckon this might be a deadly Doug Ellis sort of old-style-y vote of confidence until Southgate becomes available, probably in a week's time or whenever we flake out of the tournament early. I'm going to be doing some watch-alongs for these games. I'm going to be starting tomorrow, actually. The first game of the tournament is Germany-Scotland. And I fancy that'll be a good game, and I'm hoping Scotland will surprise a few people. I think they've got something going there at Scotland at the moment, and I'd love to see them beat Germany. Germany, of course, lest we forget, have only won one World Cup. Only one World Cup, I know this is the Euros, but Germany have only won one World Cup. The others were won by some defunct, non-existent country called West Germany. I think they're roughly on the same area of the map, but they're not around anymore. So Germany, one World Cup. And it'd be nice to see the Scots just do them. Let's see if they can get a bit of a roll going. An early win would be great for them. And also, I've now, even though I opened this video with a bit of a visual gag, what I'm doing now is now going to be available on your favourite podcast provider, whether that's Spotify or iTunes, or whatever it is you use. I use Podcast Addict on an Android phone because I've heard a couple of people, like to listen to it while they're driving, and really doing that with YouTube can be a bit of a pain. And of course, Chelsea seems to have pulled another accounting rule out from the back of the couch, so they're not in FFP trouble. I don't know how they do it. I'm not worried about it because they've shown that they're totally incompetent at buying footballers and running a football team. Time bowling! Let's play bowling! They're just going to stuff it up anyway, so I'm not worried about that. But that could mean that maybe Gallagher's off the table. I'm 50-50 on the guy anyway. Let's see who else we can get into midfield. Eze is a possibility. So I mysteriously teleport from Redfern to King's Cross. So if you listen to any of those things, Spotify or iTunes, I'm there. If you like it, thumbs up, share, whatever. I don't know how it all works, but the more the merrier. It's pretty cool. Let people know who haven't heard of this yet. Now, the other bit of tidbit is Son Heung-min. There's a couple of, well, are they even rumours? It sounds like the press is stirring things up, but let's assume that maybe there is some whiffed of smoke behind the Fleet Street meathead hack rumours and innuendo, and someone is interested in Son. Again, another player that many people were saying no, is not very good because people aren't interested in him. Well, there you go. That's Son and Romero. I don't think they're going anywhere, even though, I mean, it's an old cliche, isn't it, when Real Madrid come knocking. But Real Madrid, they can only possibly win 3 trophies this year. We got 4. We got 4 we're up for this year. So it makes sense for a 33% increase in silverware in one short year to stay with Tottenham Hotspur. Now, I saw another report. I've seen all sorts of reports, man. It's just garbage. I could almost play bingo with this. I've seen the number of players that are leaving Spurs. I've seen 7, 8, 9. No, not 9. 7, 8, 10, 11, 12. And this morning I saw 15. 15. So I don't know who's going to be playing football next year at Spurs. I don't know who they're counting in that. I don't know if they're counting some academy players or whatever, but that means we'd need to buy 10 players if they're all first squad members, which I think would be challenging in any window. So I'm not very impatient on this window because I understand that international football's on. I'd expect to see some activity hotting up after that, unless we're after non-internationals or players that aren't involved in the international tournaments. Hopefully what we can avoid, which we avoided fairly well last year, is the 11 p.m. fax, because for some reason the transfer window, which I've this is actually the transfer window here. You see, it is ajar. Unfortunately, Premier League have forced me to keep it open until 11 p.m. that time. So if it rains, I'm just going to get wet. Hopefully no last minute faxes coming through. We want to get our business done early and get our pre-season underway. It's an exciting time of year for me. You don't know it's almost like Christmas, isn't it? You open a present, who's it going to be? Oh, Joe Rodon. Or Mickey Van der Ven, a surprise, like a Kinder Surprise. He is, both him and Vicario. You open the egg, and back when I was a kid, you used to have a degree in sculpting, art, engineering and computing to put a Kinder Surprise egg together. Now you just open it, it's there, it's done for you, isn't it? Where's the surprise in that? Well, it's brief, isn't it? So I've got a Kinder Surprise eggs. So surprises, it's going to be news, speculation. I'm just glad there's some football on to distract us all away from all that madness. I reckon 4 signings. 4 signings would be a good window. Any more than 4 would be amazing. Standard aside, of course. But for me, I want to see a fullback that can play left or right. I want to see a midfielder. None of these 6, 8s and 10 stuff. Stop going on about 6, 8s and 10s. That's dinosaur football. That's out the Stone Age. So out the Stone Age, we're playing total football. Total, like Hungary, like Spurs of old, like Ajax or Holland or the Netherlands in the 70s. That's what we're doing. You don't have a 6 and an 8 and it does my head in. Boxing people, making them too specialised. So I want to see another midfielder and a striker, and then Ange's choice. I'm leaving the others up to him, but who knows, man? I think the shredder's been out. A few players have been talked to. Have some been persuaded to stay? The jury's out on whether Pierre is actually trying to be persuaded to stay or being booted out the door. It's hard to say with Pierre sometimes, but it's going to be shenanigans. There's lots of channels that are going to cover all players in depth. I'm not one of those. I'm just here for the shits and giggles, man, and a bit of hot football action, which starts tomorrow. The watch along. Sydney time kickoff is at 5 o'clock a.m. Germany versus Scotland. I'm going to start streaming about half an hour beforehand. Be there or be square. Until next time, folks, peace and love, man, and come on, you Spurs.